All right, let's get started with our flatbread pizza. You notice here I have a flatbread that's par baked already. Well, why do I do that? Well, so that way when all the ingredients go on, it's not flopping everywhere, but it can be ready to pop in the oven and fully cook. What we're gonna do here, we have our olive oil. This is a pepper infused olive oil from Seasons Olive Oil and Vinegar in Maryland. And we're gonna just gently lay this over the top. We wanna drizzle it in. And you see that color coming out is orange, right? Orangey hot. So it's gonna be a beautiful thing when that melts down, and it's gonna pair well with that prosciutto at the end. All right, so what we wanna do here, just smear it a little bit. Just smear it a little bit, let it keep going, because you want that to fill out and soak into your bread, all right? So there we go, we have that. Then we'll move on to our goat cheese. So our goat cheese, we wanna fill that real nicely here. And it's okay if the board gets messy, that's what it's there for, right? So we have that, and we want to be generous because we want this to melt. We want it to hold all the ingredients down, and then we'll get to enjoy. Next, we have our pear. We're gonna thinly slice this, just nice and easy. We'll leave the skin on. All right, so you see how paper thin that is? Why do we do that? Well, we want that to crisp up in the oven. It's gonna stick to that goat cheese, and it's gonna be very nice in your mouth. So I'm just gonna do a little bit more. All right, and that should fill out our flatbread here. So I like to do things on the angle. Makes it a little prettier at times. Here we go. And then wherever it's open space, we wanna fill that in. We don't want to leave any area open because we want those flavors to come through. All right, so we see here, we have our goat cheese and pear on it. It's gonna go into the oven. So I'll grab my little baking cookie sheet that you may have at home there. And we're gonna pop this in the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes, all right? There we go. And so we're gonna let that go, let that goat cheese melt, let that pear crisp up, and so we'll come back right after that happens. Let's go check it though to make sure we're all set. And always when going into the oven or stovetop, everything's hot. So have a towel, have a hot mitt, have something. All right, so we have here, oh yes, we have our flatbread pizza ready for us to hit the next steps with. How do we know? Well, the outsides are nice and crispy. The inside, we got a little bit of golden brown on that goat cheese, and this pear has a little crisp to it, all right? Let's just store that away here. Always keep your towel on, you don't wanna lose it. You want it for any time you need it. All right, so let's continue. We have our thinly sliced prosciutto. We don't want anything that's gonna get stuck in our teeth. You see this, it's paper thin, where I can barely even get it off. But that's okay, because we'll see how the presentation works with it. So we want to just gently lay that prosciutto down. Don't worry about making it perfect. And this prosciutto you could find anywhere in any of the stores in their meat section. They 9 times out of 10 have it in their little refrigerated coolers. So you just take your time, get the prosciutto on. There we go. We're just gonna make sure we layer it a lot, because when you serve this to your guests, you don't want to cheapen out. You want them to be able to experience every bite, every morsel of this dish. Here we go. And there goes our last piece. And you can spread around a little bit. We don't want to overstuff the pizza right, but we want to get it just right. Okay. Then we want to get our balsamic vinegar here. We have a herb infused vinegar that we're going to use. And this is not the regular stuff you get on the store shelf that's bitter. No, these are seasoned and sitting in barrels for years. So this gets a natural sweetness to it. All right. So I'm going to pour this into my little bowl here. That makes it very easy for me to pour and drizzle over the top of our flatbread. So that should be enough. We'll store this on the side here. Let's transfer our flatbread over to our serving dish. All right. And we're just gonna get some heaping fulls. Oops, let's make sure our flatbread's in the center. When you present it to your guests, you really don't want that to float away on you. As you see, I'm not doing anything special here. It's just drizzle it on there You get a little splash sometimes on the sides. There we go. So this is our final piece. I'm just wipe my hands. It's our final piece of our pear and prosciutto flatbread pizza. It's an easy crowd pleaser. It's very simple. Didn't take too long, right? Anyone can do this dish. If you enjoyed what you saw, you enjoyed making it, stay tuned for our next episode to find out what's coming up.